Well, nice meeting you. It's a pleasure for me to be here. My name is Alejandro Castillo. I work for Open Blue Sea Farms, Panama. Right now, I'm the R&D manager over there, research and development manager. Well, we developed this study in conjunction with SENACID. That's the National Secretary for Technology and Innovation in the country. This was partly funded, and this came up after a quite of hypothesis that we've been, of a phenomenon that we've been seeing in the last 17 years working with cobia. We have seen information or visual aspects that suggest a morphological difference between female cobia and male cobia. That's a difference that happens often in other kind of fish. So we designed a trial that could statistically and scientifically prove that there existed that kind of difference. So first of all, I would like to highlight our purpose. Open Blue is a company that is situated in Panama. We do offshore growing of cobia. We are committed with proving people that it is possible to grow cobia in a sustainable way out in the sea, basically. Our families and we believe in that, and we invite you also to be part of the movement. So with that, I will start. Okay, so about the design, what we did to do the scientific approach to this test was to design a trial by triplicating 3 groups of different sex. The sex determination was done by PCR. The precision was of 98%. We did 3 groups. One group was of full female, other was of full male, and the last group over there was from 50-50 combination of mixed sex, female and male. Apart from that, the site was in Viento Frio in Colón. That's on Caribbean coast of Panama. Here at the right down side of the slide, you will see a very small picture of the laboratories on Viento Frio. So for the variable standardizing, we did some, okay, so let me first start with the design. That's the laboratory design for infrastructure. What you will see in the blue highlighted tanks, those are the tanks that were used for the trial. We have basically 24 10-ton tanks, and they're all independent and no flow-through system. They're all open flow. We standardized variables for dissolved oxygen, temperature, pH, and well, the temperature is based on the site and is pretty constant overall, around 30 Celsius. So anyway, we had a standardized frequency for monitoring to make sure that there was no critical fluctuations in the parameters. Okay, so we used 2 diets through the trial. We had a commercial implementation of another diet between the trial. So there was a change in the diet used, but it changed for all tanks at the same time. So we concluded that there was no difference due to this, because it was implemented systematically to all the groups. Okay, so when it comes down to the sampling methodology, it is important to say that all these fish were pit tagged. The density, the stocking density was the same on all the tanks. It was 5 kilograms per cubic meter, and that way things began. So the sampling methodology started basically in a monthly basis. We used clove oil for anesthetic mixed with seawater. And that way we basically managed to get the fish in a real calm state. That way we can put it on the scale and do the measurements. We don't only measure weight, but with also size. Here you can see a quick clip of the pit tagging and basically verbally the saying of the weight, size, and the ship ID of the fish. Here you can see some fish. We managed to grow the fish from 200 grams. That's about 2 months age for the fish to 11 months, reaching about 4 kilos. There were some important differences in average body weight between male and female, being the female that grows the most. So I'll advance through the results then. And here you can see in the blue line are the female fish. You can see that they reached around 4 kilos, while the male fish only reached about 3. So that's an important difference. There was no difference in fillet utilization, but there was some important difference also at feed conversion rate level. So this basically is the approach that we needed to improve and suggest if we may be needing to proceed with a monosex farm that is basically economical terms, it's better for cost associating. So here is the analysis of the early growth performance by group. With early growth, what I mean is before the courtship behavior initial on the cobia. It starts around 2 kilo for the male fish. That's around 8 months. So that's remembering that we started the trial with 2 months age fish. So at this moment, the fish start to do the courtship behavior, and we have some hypotheses that suggest that there is energy consumption associated to the male chasing the female and the female running away from the male, basically. So at this moment, the FCR look pretty well, and you're going to get surprised with the next slide because it goes really drastically increased in some groups. So at this moment, you can see when the fish got to 4 kilograms, there were some traits of non-efficiency at the growth level of male cobia. You can see, for example, in the male fish, at the end of the trial, the FCR went up to 9. This is important to consider that this was measured from the 2 kilo in a head, so it's not considering the early stage of growth. That's why it goes so high. And well, the difference between female and male fish at this period of the essay is very high. Growth of all females shows the best performance in both ways, not only in growth but also in FCR, suggesting very strong economical benefits. So the next steps on these trials basically are to consider other technologies that we could use for creating a monosex farm or all-female farm that would pretty much grant or economical part the most benefits. That's it. Here you can see a quick video of the farm. We're an offshore farm. We got 24 cages on the sea. And well, the pretty much of the deal is all these findings that we do at the R&D department that is land-based, well, taking them out to the offshore scale. So thanks.
So we have plenty of time for questions. We have about 5 minutes or so. So anybody have any questions? Yeah, one in the back there.
Consumer question, not a research question, but when you catch wild cobia, it's usually a very firm, textured meat. And in my own personal experience, when you buy farm-raised cobia, the meat doesn't seem to be as firm. Is that on the basis of the sex of the fish, or perhaps at what age they're harvested, or is that just perhaps unique to the place that the fish store bought the farm-raised fish?
Okay, so the question is based on the texture aspects between the cobia that is farmed and the one that is sylvester, basically, right? So, well, it is very much associated to the place of growth. Depending on the currents, the cobia might be more used to do basically use of its muscles. So in our cages are located around 20 miles out of the coast, and that way, basically the cages are about 70 meters diameter, so the cobia has plenty of space to move, and it is in a current play zone. So, well, I can tell you that the cobia I have tested by myself by eating it, and that is from Open Blue. Basically, tests very much like the Sylvester one, like the wild one, because of that. Very likely, if we try the cobia that is growing in our tanks, because it's only 10 cubic meters tank, the difference will be more present because of the missing of the natural moving of the fish. Hope that works. Don't know if there's any other question. Please do.
Sorry if I might have missed it if you already said it. I know you mentioned that you stock at 5 kilos per cubic meter.
Correct.
How big are the tanks that you have out? Or not the tanks, the nets?
How big?
Yeah.
Okay, so how big the tanks are for the trial? We have 10 cubic meters tanks.
And then
Yes.
what are your net pens?
Oh well, they are pretty big. They are about 40-meter height and 70-meter diameter. So when we stock fish out in the sea, it's about 35,000 to 70,000 fish that we stock. Yes.
So you have another question over here.
Yeah, so one of your results was a
Correct.
But then the gonadal development, you noted, was greater in females. Was that based on the weight of the gonads alone or the stage of oogenesis compared to?
That's a good question. So the question is if there's any difference in the gonad development between the groups of fish in the female, right? And if that's associated to the growth of the fish. So yeah, basically the first time that we noticed these differences, we also thought that it was associated to the gonad development. So that's why we did not only 2 groups, males and females, but 3, the mixed group. When we took this trial to the fillet utilization or yields, we noticed that there was a higher gonad development in the mixed group. We have an hypothesis that is due to the interaction between females and males, and that way, that's the group, or the females present in that group have the less yield utilization. However, at a statistical level, it is not significant, only about 1% of difference. So the males at yield level keep taking the lead, but there is not a difference that would impact at economical level, as high as it impacts at FCR and growth speed level. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Question? Yeah, thank you.
Perfect.